In the 70s, the artist had the opportunity to take the time in the studio to spend the time that he deemed necessary to really, really do his or her art, whether it was self-indulgent or not. I mean, at Steely Dan, it used to take me 6 weeks just to find a comfortable chair at $300 an hour. You know, it was pretty silly.
The biggest problem with recording studios is the surfeit of options. There are far too many things.
Can I just hear the new Mellotron sound, please? That wasn't really quite exaggerated enough.
There's always an oscillation of attraction between going the whole hog with studio technology, which always goes over the top at some point. You know, the music of the early 70s was actually fairly tedious as a result of people suddenly becoming possessed by the idea that they were symphonic composers.
What Eno and I found that was the most interesting aspect of the new music that we were doing at that time was actually working with synthesizers but throwing the manuals away so that we had no idea how the damn things worked. And it was the mistakes that they made that we found more interesting than the stuff that they were supposed... Because these things are programmed by high-tech buffs who really don't have any sensibility of what can be done musically, so they put in the stuff that they believe musicians would want to use. And that's the stuff that you really don't want to hear because it's like fake strings and things like that. So if you get the wrong circuits going, you get all these crackles and farts coming out of these things. I mean, it just produces the most extraordinary sounds and different range of textures.
There is music that is sacred to us, and that's what's caused this attitude in the studio. You know, an album like Sgt. Pepper, well, everyone thinks they have a Sgt. Pepper in them somewhere, you know. But if there is a Sgt. Pepper of the 70s, you'd have to say that Dark Side of the Moon was it.
We were thinking in the 70s, as we do today, of making great records, which means an album to me. I mean, singles seem like part of a different business.